Welcome to Growing Sessions Podcast. It's your host, Coco.
And Raya. And as you can see, we're visual. And we have our mothers joining us. Beautiful black mothers. um, yeah, this is our first visual episode. So we just wanted to get started and
Yeah, let's get into it.
let's get into it. So how are y'all doing today?
All right.
Good.
All right, good.
I'm good. Long day at work. You know, we do work and we're just not here, so
Tired.
happy to be here.
How was y'all week?
So far, good.
Long already, and it's just Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yes,
2 more days.
Yeah.
to the weekend.
Friday.
How has your week been?
Ciao. Crazy.
Busy.
I feel like it's always crazy. But we making it day by day. How was your
It's
week?
been a slow and peaceful week for me. I'm enjoying my week. It's been pretty good so far.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we're having a Mother's Day episode. So are y'all excited to be joining us today?
A little nervous, just a little bit.
Nervous.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm glad to be here.
Okay. So I guess we can get started with this episode and topics and everything. So starting off with the question, when did you join motherhood and what was that like?
Well, I was 18, so I was pretty young, and it was scary starting off.
Okay.
So I had my first child at 21. I was pregnant at 20 and had her by 22. And I would say was probably a little nervous because I was still at home. So
Okay.
I don't know. That sounds. Well, how did you feel when you guys found out you guys were having a kid?
Scared and nervous.
Just a little nervous. Well, because I was really active, so I didn't know that I was pregnant. I think that's another thing. Like, if you've never had a child before, you wouldn't know like all these symptoms. So I was almost 5 months pregnant when I was pregnant, and it was just because it was my first child. I was young. I just didn't know. So I think it's one of those things where people say, "Oh no, you knew." No, I honestly did not know. I was very active, so I didn't really know, and I never show until like 7 months. So when I found out, and then the doctor was just like, let's get you on prenatal vitamins. And I was like, I wasn't feeling good. And he was like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, this has to be wrong. Like,
Oh my God.
no, this has to be wrong. No, I literally was like, okay, just get out the room. And I was like, when he left out the room, I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I'm going to be someone's mom. Like, I'm going to be someone's mom now. So it was a little more shocking, but it was more telling your parents because you were still at home. For me, that was the nervous part. But, you tell your parents it's always, my mom was like excited and took me to the Target to go buy clothes immediately. But it was just the breaking point of telling her.
So you just went to the doctor because you didn't feel good?
Yeah, it was like, see, I didn't have the morning sickness and stuff like that with her. I actually didn't have that with either one of my daughters. I did with my sons, but with her, I didn't have morning sickness, none of that stuff. And I still got up and I was still working out, doing what I always do. So I never had any issues. And then, it was my regular normal doctor visit. And then he was like, I had to do a urine test. And then he was like, you're not pregnant, da da da. And I was like, no. It was like, came back and was like, okay, so have you been having like a full filling? And I was like, I have been. I mean, I haven't been eating a whole lot. I've just kind of been. He was like, okay, so you're pregnant. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like at this point, I wanted to like get off the table and go.
But that's crazy how you found it 5 months.
See,
Yeah.
I
feel like I prefer it that way, honestly, because then you're already like halfway through the thing. You're almost done.
Say it was definitely quick. It was just delivery was crazy, but
See, when I found out, I was 3 months.
See,
but I feel like I was, I missed, I didn't have my periods or anything. I think I was just in denial.
Yeah,
is what it was, and I was just scared. And so I didn't. When I did find out, they used to have this place called Hope Pregnancy Center, in the village, and so you can go. They'll test you, and so I went there, And of course, it came back positive. And so the whole ride home, I'm like, how am I finna tell my mama? So, which I didn't. I had my cousin tell her for
Oh
me.
my gosh.
I had her, which my mama, she was cool. Like, I don't know why. I shouldn't have been scared, but I was. But, I mean, she was accepting.
So you didn't have symptoms either?
I did not have any symptoms. Just, nope.
And I'm thinking like 5 months, like I would have
I was
still
like
been
4
drinking
months.
and everything.
I'll say I wasn't drinking.
I
It's so
probably
funny in
had
this
about
day
2
and
drinks.
age. Like I didn't drink. I was still at home.
Yeah.
You know, I was more sheltered. I think my life was very sheltered, but you know, that's okay.
Would y'all say that changed y'all lives forever? Like, just
What do you mean?
like just having a child and just find out you're pregnant, like your life was never the same after that.
I mean, yeah, it changes. I mean, I don't feel like, I know some people like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. But I mean, you're still grown. You can do what you want to do. But as far as like ratchet stuff, yeah, nah, you can leave that.
I'll definitely say that it does change your life, but I think that we should change the narrative of like, oh my God, making it such a negative thing, because being a mom is probably the most beautiful thing in the world. And, you know, I have my 2 older daughters and I have the 2 boys that are younger, and all my friends are always like, girl, you started over, but it is the most rewarding job I think that you can ever have, for sure.
I agree.
On a light note, because you guys have more than 2 or 2. So would you say the second child is different? Because I hear it all the time. Like the second child is different.
I can answer that.
I'm gonna say yes. That's a hard yes. And I say that because Shariah versus my youngest child, Harmony. So Shariah's more calm, like she was really, she's really sweet. Harmony, oh no, that's the sassy one. That is definitely my sassy one.
Oh my gosh, so I think Chloe's kind of asking because she's the second child, so I'm definitely going to say for sure, Chloe's always been the different child. She's always, I'm going to say Chloe honestly challenges me as a mom, for sure. She's going to say whatever. She's going to embarrass me. Like example, the story when she was younger, I'd tell her, go in the store, like, Chloe, don't talk to all these people. You know, that's how all of us are raised. We get to the store, we're at the register, and the lady's saying hi to her. She's like, Mom, do I still get a prize? The lady said hi to her. She didn't say hi. And then she looks at me like, Mom, I didn't say hi to her. Do I still get a prize? And I'm like, Chloe, like,
sound like Chloe.
Why do we gotta do this? So I'm like, yes, you can have your snack. Like, I'm opening it up. Like, just be quiet. Anything to get her to be quiet. But yes, she's definitely the different child.
Keep you on your toes.
Most definitely. Now she's like my mom.
The roles, they can reverse.
For sure.
As, your daughters get older, even I get your sons, you kind of reparent.
So why do y'all feel like it's always a negative thing at first when it comes to like pregnancy and stuff?
I don't think it is.
No.
Well, because like you had just said like it's always a negative look or something.
No, I was like, I think we should change the narrative of negative.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think it's a negative thing. I feel like spiritually, I feel like God has to approve it. Like, it's not going to happen for sure unless God thinks you're capable. So anybody that says like, oh, she's a mom, well, God approved it, so it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Right.
I think if it is negative, it's usually because of like age or something. Like, the younger you are, I feel like the more negative it can be.
Or the father.
That too.
Like, the father's not active. He's not doing that. Like,
It makes it harder for the mom.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's also negative because sometimes it takes you out the streets, I'd say. It takes you out of doing certain things. Like when you're a mom, like it's like you can't be in the club anymore because like that's some things that you might hear people say. Like you can't just be doing certain things because you have to be more,
I think not in the streets because I've never been that way, but I think it's more like when you don't have an active father, you have all the weight on your shoulders. Like you have to carry, like the mom has to carry the baby, the mom has to do all this stuff. The dad can be out there doing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's like on the note of like being like not together, then you have your married crowd of people that'll see this and be like, that's why you should be married, and which is true. But
you can be married
if you're not, and he can still be doing the same stuff. But, it's just one of those things where if he's not active and it's like, and you live at home, like my situation, I'm living at home and he's not active, then all the pressure's on your parents. And that's not really fair to them.
I do really feel like that mothers play such a huge role in just everyone's lives, even over sadly the fathers. I feel like just mothers, like they really are, like
They
just
the
a
blueprint.
very like they can make or break a lot of things, which I feel like also comes with just like a lot of things being charged to you guys. Like, do you guys ever feel like you can't win, or like you guys all like as your kids get older, they start to
Oh
blame you
God.
guys for certain things, or like
Oh, for
you're the
sure.
reason why I have this or
Yes.
that?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
how does that feel, and do you feel like it's fair? Like,
Yeah, we're like taking a deep breath. Like,
Right?
where do we start?
Right. I mean, I think it's fair that, that y'all can, voice your opinion. I would have to say, like, I know me and Shariah had conversations about, stuff, how she was raised and stuff like that. I mean, it did kind of make me think, well, dang, was I that bad of a parent? But I mean, I didn't know that at the time, when she's coming to tell me. So it's like now I'm thinking like, well, dang, well, this, it could help for like my youngest daughter, like it can help me, with whatever problem she had. Like it can help me not have the same situation with my youngest daughter.
yeah.
So, I mean, as a mother, I feel like even though, y'all get older, like we're still learning.
That's
Yeah,
that
we're
part.
still learning.
Yeah, you guys
That
are.
part.
Yeah, you guys are still human too.
Yes.
And we're still living our lives. Like I have a life
Exactly.
outside of being a mother.
Right.
I have a
As you
life.
should.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, like I have a life outside of all this other
Mhm.
stuff. Like we need that person that we can go sit down and have that be a soundboard for us to have that conversation instead of us, constantly having to just have kid conversation and
Right.
whatnot. We have to have time for ourselves to be able to say, okay, we need a clear head. We don't have someone to bounce some ideas off
Mhm.
of. Then like, it's not healthy for us.
Right.
I like that you guys had that conversation. I feel like me and you kind of have too. And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
feel like it just ends up like you guys did the best you could with whatever. And obviously, when we, it's our turn, I'm sure we'll have that
Absolutely.
spin of same
Yes.
things.
There's
because
just not a handbook.
Yeah.
It's not.
And there's not a blanket statement of like, this is the way you do parenting. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody comes from
Mhm.
different stuff. We all absolutely mock what we see. So, and even people that will say this is the best parent, that may not work in my household,
Exactly.
so.
And everybody's not raised the same either. So
Right,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So do y'all feel like as y'all were parents, that was based on like how y'all parents raised y'all?
To an extent. There was a couple of things that I had to work my little magic.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely copied pretty much what your parents
Mhm.
do. And, yeah.
I kind of can I rewind back just a little bit to the question that you had as far as not being in the streets and stuff like that, because so I'm gonna say this, I was in the streets, okay? I was in the streets,
City girl.
but once I got home, I was back in mommy mode. You know what I'm? Yeah. So I mean, I feel like once you have kids, like you still can go have fun.
Yeah.
Like don't stop
That's-
your fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big thing. Like people like judge other people that had their baby and then they back outside. And, like
Mhm.
it's okay to have fun.
It is.
And like we said earlier, men don't get that same thing. While the mother can be, she can
Yeah.
be pregnant and he
Mhm.
can be in the club. But if
Yes.
she's pregnant in the club,
Yeah,
then it's a whole issue.
problem.
Right.
So
It's always double standard.
yeah,
Yes.
it's really
That's why it's like a lot of pressure on mothers more than it is fathers. Cause like, I don't know.
Yeah. We naturally teach the kids more. We teach them all this stuff. But at the point of like 18, yeah, don't put that on my name.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
you're a free agent. You can do your thing.
There you go.
I think even really like 16-ish, because when you're like, the ground rules at a certain
Right.
point, and then they just out here doing whatever. I have friends now that kids, I don't think it's right that we get called and get all these warnings and all this if my kids aren't at school. I drop them off. Really, it's on your watch.
Mhm.
So it really isn't my deal.
Yes.
But,
I love that. Yes.
we won't even start that conversation. But,
I love it.
Now let me ask this, because you said when they're 18, you're like they're a free agent. So
Uh-huh.
I know mothers shouldn't really say this, but do y'all ever be like, they're about to be 18? You guys feel like that's an exciting time and you guys are kind of ready for that, or do you feel like that's not a very happy time?
I feel like my parents wanted me to be a kid forever.
Aw. See, I'm going to be
I
honest with
mean-
me. I was like that.
Well, to an extent, but I know you grow up and go live your life. It's just the world is scary. It's not I'm scared for you to go do some stupid stuff. It's not that. I'm scared of the world.
Yeah,
No,
I
we're
agree with that.
understand.
I agree with that. Like I cried all the time. Like there was 15 and 16, I cried. Like, you're gonna move, you're gonna this. They're like, Mom, I'll be back. And I'm like, I don't care. But then I think that's how I really ended up with the boys.
Yeah, no, you started over because you were.
I was like,
how old are your boys?
They're 6 and 7, and then the girls there's 23 and 21. Yeah. So you did. Oh, you are. Congratulations.
I mean, yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be out on
it's
Mother's
airing
Day.
on my. Yeah, so I'm pregnant.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you.
But yeah, I'm starting all the way over. Shariah's 23.
That's okay.
Oh my God.
I think that's cool.
Perfect.
It is kind of
Yeah.
I was like,
It
this
is.
is my
She didn't believe me.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think it's so cute.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of fun with the boys because I was 16 when they were born, and then I don't know. I thought it was fun having.
Really?
It also taught me a lot about parenting. Before I had my own, I feel like they were pretty much my kids, almost what it felt like.
No, but now you're telling me you don't want to have kids, and we've already agreed. I want a dozen grandkids, so everybody has to do 3 kids apiece.
Yeah, well, my time will come.
I want 3 grandkids. I want 12 grandkids for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be auntie for a little bit, big sis for a little
Okay with
bit.
that.
And,
You
yeah,
have some
we'll make my
time. You have
transition.
some time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any grandkids now? Or
I do
how
have one grandbaby, Renly Kay. She's named after my middle name.
How old is
And
she?
she is a treat, 3 months,
3
and she is
months?
absolutely
She's
a world.
baby.
It definitely, people say, oh, grandparents is so different than parenting, and it absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
It is so fun being a grandma because I can say, oh, she needs this, and this, and I'm expecting them to come up with it. And then she just, she naturally just wants to be, she's excited when she sees me. She doesn't want anything. It's just, my older kids are like, Mom, I want. And yeah, really, I'm enjoying
This way, when she's 5 and she can talk. I'm
Right.
I already told her mom she's getting herself on, so she told me we fight about that now. So.
You know what, Diane? So it's I call her my work mom. She would always tell me, she would always say, if I could have had grandkids before I had kids, I would have done it.
I agree with that. I almost think it should be in reverse a little bit, but you can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's the differences like being a girl mom and a boy mom? Like, is it differences? Because you have 2 girls.
Yeah, 2 girls.
2 boys,
Oh my gosh.
2 girls.
The girls were so much easier just because they would sit down and color. And actually the boys are getting to that point where they draw all this stuff. But the girls, it's like they're mini me's. I get to dress them like me. They get to do whatever with me. Nels is sitting down. But when I have the boys, yeah, it's more, they're getting hurt. They fight. They wrestle. It's just way too much. But I love the boys because they will do anything and they tell you that you're beautiful all the time.
Aww.
And they just love being with me, period. They're just naturally just easier as far as like when I ask them to clean up. The girls always give me kickback like, I don't want to, or some sassy stuff, and it's just like the boys are easier. The boys are easier for sure.
I said you're 23. No, you're not.
I'm almost.
You're 22.
And dressing the girls are easier too because you can buy the cute stuff. The boys, they have to have the Nikes. They have to have certain clothes for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd want to be a boy mom first.
Really? Me too.
I think that's the.
I kind of want you to be a girl mom just because me and Corby both were girl moms first.
We'll see.
I'm a wish for it. We have it on recording. We have it on recording now. We'll see.
Speaking of toots.
Yeah, it's going to be a girl first.
Does your mom ever say, like, I hope you have 4 kids just like you?
No.
She tells me that all the time. I'm like, please.
Well, it's like ridiculous. And she doesn't want to do something. I'm like, you know what? I hope you have 4 daughters just like you.
And I hope they in the store asking about a prize.
Oh, for sure. Oh, Chloe's. Oh, let's share one other thing she did. So I was driving. I was in a rush. And a fire truck was driving by, and I was right by the turn. So I just turned into the gas station. The fire marshals were at the school the next day. In front of the whole school, Chloe raises her hand. He said, as anyone's parents, don't pull over when the fire truck's lights are on. And Chloe raises her hand. Only one out of the whole school, elementary school. So I pull up, like, yay, got snacks in the car. Like, Chloe, the guy's like, is that your mom? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what happened? She walks to the car with the fire guy. And he was like, Mom, you need to be sure you pull over when the lights come on. Chloe raised her hand. I'm like, Chloe, I said, I promise. He was like, nope, she wouldn't lie to me. We get there. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Why would you tell these people this?
Chloe's like, she's like outgoing kid.
Oh, she is a mess. She was hilarious.
On my report card is what? Talking
all the time is amazing and whatever. But I always told her I should have named her Star because I think Chloe's just a really good person, period.
I'm trying to think, have you ever embarrassed me?
Oh my God, this one.
I do remember we had just moved out into our apartment and we heard neighbors outside fighting. And so we were like, me and my sister, we were like peeking out the blinds, and here comes Shariah. Tears down the whole blind. So now we're right there looking outside. We got caught being nosy.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Leave it to the kids.
So what do y'all feel like y'all do to heal your inner child? Like, as a kid, you wanted to go to that restaurant all the time, but y'all always passed it. And like, now that y'all grown up, y'all go to it. Like, things like that. Do y'all feel like y'all have anything that heal y'all inner child?
Like maybe you always went to color, but you had to, your mom was like, clean the house. Now you're like, oh, I'm going to color my free time.
I don't really have that. I think...
I feel like me right now is like cleaning up. Like, I can just clean up when I want to. Like, if dishes anything, I'm like, I can get to that later.
That kind of stuff.
Like, stuff like that. Like,
because she's
like
just me,
that.
Shariah, do this, do that.
I
was that person.
Speaking of that, I want to talk about kids leaving the nest, because I feel like we're all at that point. I'm getting ready to move out soon in a few months. Is that kind of like a hard process for moms? Just like, and she's your firstborn too, so yeah.
I feel like she was mad at me when I was moving out.
I wasn't mad. I was mad that you told me a day before. Yes.
Okay.
She told me a day before. So I'm like,
how do we do that?
Yeah.
It kind of takes away from your experience of like going shopping and gradually accepting it.
Yes. Yeah. And so
I was just too ready, y'all.
But you could have got some better gifts. Like, mom could have helped out with this and this. Yeah. Chloe's already got a whole spreadsheet on my desk with this is how much this is. So yeah, I can do that. Yeah. It's hard to see your kids leave.
But I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
I feel like that's nice to hear.
I think for me with Chloe, and even Corby, I tried to, like, if you're going to move out, I always tell them, I want you to see with 2 months of rent put up. Just because I was a single mom. So for me, I want to see you be prepared. I don't like the whole, leaving, messing up your credit, having to go get loans, all that stuff. I want to prep you up and have you ready for that next stage in life. I don't think it's appropriate to just send you out there. Then I'm really going to be stressing. It's like, let us be a part of that part that's a journey for you. And you may never ever come back home except for the weekend. So for us, we give up our whole life from the day you're born. And especially if you're by yourself, it's like you do all these tasks and you give up all this stuff for these kids, and then boom, you're gone. It's kind of like, it's for parents, it's kind of like that can be a trauma for us. Because, it's always easy for the kids to see it on y'all's side, trauma that we caused. But then you guys do the same thing for us.
Right.
Just up and leaving. It's like when our men leave, like, y'all are with us longer than our relationships. And then here y'all are jumping up like, bye. Like, okay, we get it, you're grown. But can we be a part of that process?
Yeah. I will say, I feel like it also can be sad or not sad, but just like it's an experience from both ends. Like, especially with your first time leaving, it's kind of sad to leave the home that you so I think it makes it a lot easier if you do it together. Like, you go with me to tour apartments, and I told you a year in advance, so that should be
she did. She did.
But yeah,
Corby, she moved a little faster, but and then, like, also when you guys go off and do all this, and we know in the background how hard it is for y'all to do it, then y'all go off and like, oh, my electric's going to be cut off. Well, you really need to have it off for a little bit, because you should have talked to us, and we would have told you to be ready. But then you want us to come aid that. So then it's like gritting teeth. Like, I got to go fix this for this kid, and she didn't listen. And if I would hatch your money together, then we wouldn't have to do all this.
See, I feel like as a parent, I would be like, nope, I told you, you didn't listen.
Oh, my grandbabies will call me and I'll get it taken care of.
Do y'all ever have a hard time just not saying I told you so?
Oh no, I'm quick to say that.
Okay.
I'm quick, even though I still help, but I'm quick to say it. Yeah.
I think I do kind of just talk around. I told you, like, this is why I mentioned that this would have been, but yeah, it's like, think about you. You guys no one wants to hear, we're already annoyed repeating ourselves, but then having to go through the fire with you guys making these mistakes. It's like, we don't like that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, just like kids really messing with the blueprint. Like, you guys have lived this life longer than we have. You guys set certain things in place, and you guys teach your kids certain things. Like, don't do this. Because if you do this, this is what happens. And then they get older and they start doing exactly what you told them not to do. Is that hard for you guys to watch as they get older, just like messing up with things that you've already seen this, how it goes,
It is.
Yeah.
It is hard.
It is hard to do. I agree. Some of it can be for the better. If you're
Mhm.
tinkering with it for it's the betterment of the family, I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
Like example, like I'm not really. I'm old school. The way you tell me that you love to tell me that's just old school. But some things aren't still stand. Moral values always still stand. There's the blueprint for life in general is in the Bible. So I kind of try to teach out of that. Although we all fumble, but whenever you're like, my mom would just say, "Don't do it," and I'm just going with it. That's just what it is. But you want to sit down and talk, and I'm like, this is not the time for that. I don't want that done because I don't really have time for this whole kumbaya moment. We can come back to that. Let's table it. But then you guys want it right here, right now.
Okay, so
And this life is so fast paced. Y'all are so used to this generation is so used to everything right here at the fingertips. You go to Google, your phone. We're not from that generation.
No.
Yeah.
So for us, that's not a good mindset. Sometimes you need to learn patience.
Right.
And then we can get there.
see, that was always the hard thing for me is you say, "Hey, don't do this." I'm like, I'm a why based person. Why? Like, I just want to know. Like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, nothing. But she didn't play that. Why? Like, why? Don't ask me no questions.
yeah.
Do what I told you to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious. Like, if I know why, then I'll remember a lot easier.
Well, also you got to think like from where we're at, our parents is disrespectful to answer
Oh,
why.
yes. We can
ask us
no
why.
questions.
Right. So then we're going to feel a disrespect because we didn't do it. So why are we feeling like you can do that?
And there's certain things. I'm not saying like when she told me to go wash the dishes, I'm like, why? But
No. You'll like after you Netflix and chill. Can you go do it?
Hey, I got a story on that one. I'm gonna hold it, but it's okay.
I will say, like the whole moving out thing. So last Saturday, Shariah went to a graduation and she came back to the house and she took a nap and like my heart was full.
Aww.
It really was. Like we was all in there knocked out, but I was happy that she came back to do that because I'm like, she ain't gonna never come back to visit us.
Right. Yeah, it's heartbreaking when your kids leave. Yes, like when all my kids we pile up and have movie nights. Those moments mean a lot to us.
Yes.
When you guys get to that point where y'all have boyfriends, you don't want to hug your mom anymore. It's like this is weird. Like then we start. That like kind of puts us not against the boyfriend, but it's kind of got an eyebrow up. Like, okay, what are we doing?
When you do this with him,
Yeah,
like balance it out.
And when they're young, like your kid, in the kid's eyes, their mom's the world. Like they think so highly, and then as they get older, it starts to, it change. I mean, it still can be the world, but it's a little different. So. I feel like that's why I'd have to have more than one kid, just because they move out. See, like you still got two.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and see, that's why you have it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
You always got somebody there.
Yeah.
So y'all saying y'all get lonely?
I wouldn't say lonely. I mean, but we miss our kids.
We definitely miss our kids. Like a boyfriend, a husband cannot replace the love you have for your kids. As you carry, when you guys have kids, you'll know because you're carrying this baby. And when you're carrying this baby, you have a natural connection to this child. And the more you go, the more you like. Corby texts me all day about Renly, and now she stopped because every second I'm texting pictures, sending it to her because I know how that feels. But when you have this attachment to this baby, like literally she eats with you, you're doing everything with you. Like people probably thought I was crazy when I was pregnant with my kids because I talk to my baby while I'm walking around like,
you should.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the thing.
And I want to ask this. Do you feel like you've gotten, do you feel like you get closer when you move out? Because I always wonder if I'll get closer, just a little bit closer with her. Because we live now, I don't really go in there and talk to you.
I think we just take it for granted.
Yeah, but when I move out, I'll be coming over to talk to you. I'm there to actually hang out with you versus just knowing you're in the other room. So I wondered if we get closer,
That was my idea. Like when I was moving, I was like, okay, it's an opportunity to get closer because it is different when you're in the same household, versus not being in the same household. Like when I came over and took a nap, I don't know. It did feel different. So I feel like, yeah,
that's good. I tell her all the time, I'm going to just pull up whatever you need. Just text me. I'll just come by, put it in your groceries in your refrigerator, then I'll be gone.
What's something y'all wish y'all knew as first time mom? Like now that y'all have more than one kid.
Good question.
I mean, no, I just kind of went with the flow.
You guys have any mom hacks, things?
Yeah, things like that.
That were cool that you would tell mom
something to share.
I know y'all have some tricks.
I do. I got to think about it.
We can spin back on that one.
We can definitely come back to that question.
Okay.
I was going to start into the whole, how I like to keep all the safety stuff in the car, keep all this stuff on hand, stuff like that. I don't know, anything to try to make your life easier because you get tired. To me, it's never just when they're babies. You get tired still in general because you're constantly putting them in something else. So it's just like anything that try to make your life easier and more efficient.
Okay. I want to go back to leaving the nest.
Okay.
Like, I know you said like the world is scary, but I feel like isn't it important to just not throw your kid out there, but like just let them, like if they want to change, move states, like if they want to, like, I feel like
is that, are you asking me like, do you feel like if I think that's okay?
Yeah, like what do y'all think about that?
I mean, I feel like that's okay, but at the same time, I'm still gonna be worried. Yeah.
I think whenever you guys make these choices, you need to think about what your kids are going to do because your kids are going to, whatever is stressful for us, it always comes back on you. So, I'm never like encouraging my kids just to leave, but I will, if you want to leave and move to another state, you can. I've always tried to make being at home the coolest, easiest thing to the point where my kids don't have to pay nothing at home. I want you to stack your money. I want you to pay for whatever. I want you to have your stuff together. But yeah, like she said, I think it's just like, the life we have lived, like we've seen so much, like it's never at the expense of us losing our kids because that is a possibility. And I mean, we don't want to have a negative mindset, but it is like a reality that, you're just out there having fun and, you can Google how many times a person just went to go have some fun or just moved and then that's the last time we see them. So, that's always like when you try to configure in your mind, like, okay, the negative thought versus this process, then it's like in the middle is like we can reach in the middle, like what could that look like? Then it's like, nah, we're good. We're just ready to just be home. We know you're home.
Have y'all ever thought about leaving, changing states, or y'all like, no, my family is here, I'm staying forever?
I never thought about it, but I mean, if something comes up to where like I had to, as far as like, my job or, my boyfriend's job or something like that, then I mean, it's a possibility, but I never just said it like, oh, I want to move out of town like that. I've never thought that.
Because I just be feeling like people just be like scared of change, like just in the Black community, like in general.
I mean, and some people are.
I have talked about moving to Texas. We've all talked about Texas. We actually all talked about just my immediate family moving to Texas together. And I think that would be like what I would do. If I moved to another state, I want my kids to come too.
I've always wanted to move away. And I feel like you've always been like, well, let's try to do it together. If we're going to move, let's try to do it all together. Yeah. But I've always wanted to move away. I feel like that's just part of life. Just like being adventurous, just seeing what's out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I always feel like here should always be, Oklahoma is like where we're from. This is always to have a spot here and then go there and we can come back and forth.
Yeah, with how affordable it is to be in Oklahoma, that's always kept me here. It's always been an idea to go somewhere else, but when I see the prices, I'm like, no, I'm staying here.
I see some places in Texas that are like, it's so much easier to do a lot more things, but I could be wrong.
Something funny I want to talk to you guys about is just gentle parenting. I feel like now we see that a lot in our age group, I'd say. Just some examples is
just
like
in this generation, like just the like where we live in now.
We're really like pushing being gentle with our kids. And I just want to get you guys to spin on that. Just to give you guys an example of gentle parenting. You might have to help me, right? But like I don't know if just like I'm trying to think of an example of gentle parenting. I feel like I showed you some videos before we came.
Yes, you did, and I think that's probably why I have this look on my face.
Like if your kid throws a fit and they're throwing stuff, you like not spanking them, grabbing their hand and just saying, "Hey, we don't throw toys."
I think it's with like the kids now, like in general, like they just experience different than what we grew up in.
Yeah, where they're allowed.
Sister, she never got a whooping. Me, whoop it all the time. But it's like
Shariah would always say, I can never get away with that when I was a kid.
I experience that all the time.
But changed.
So I will say, I feel like as we get older, we have more patience. That's what I feel like that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Not fair, but okay.
Ask you guys, would you gentle parent? Before I answer my question on us answer the gentle, would y'all gentle parent your kids?
I'm half and half. I think
I would try to be more patient.
yeah, like if they threw a fit, like they're still kids, so like just talking them through it. But and I think I showed you the video of the guy. He said, "I only with my kids if it's something like that could put themselves in danger." And I agree with that. Like I feel like there's a time in a. I don't think that. I think that the solution has to fit the crime.
I agree with that.
Like if your kid gets in trouble at school for hitting other kids, well, taking him home and whooping him probably is not going to be a good
Yeah, I was
solution.
gonna say like is talking not as effective as whoopings?
It depends.
I was gonna say I don't think you guys got. I didn't whoop
Yeah.
you for everything, and I'm sure you probably didn't get a spanking for everything.
You did not.
It may have felt like it in the
yelled.
moment.
I did yell,
But all that
no.
talking nice, like I can't wait to see what this gentle parenting in
yeah.
action.
Me
Like,
neither.
When you wake up in the morning, you got to be consistency is key when you have your kids. So if we're running late, do you think I'm a gentle parent as I'm trying to hurry up and get to this job that's paying all the bills because I'm here paying these bills by myself? Probably not. We're going to put gentle parenting on pause.
See,
Hurry up, get your stuff. Let's go.
With you being a single mom, I get that. Like it's hard to be a single parent and gentle parent. Like you don't have any time for yourself, so you have no time to recharge and be
but
gentle.
let's not make it like I'm just always on edge.
No,
like,
you weren't.
I'm not always on go. But I
you
am
were
like,
sometimes, but
But
not
with
always.
with the boys, my life is crazy. I own a cleaning business. I also work my job. I'm an accountant. So for me, my life is always in fast pace. So a lot of times, yeah, it's like, come on, let's go. But
she had her moments.
Do y'all feel like how y'all day was going affected if y'all was gentle parents or not? Like
I used to be a teacher.
Yes.
I used to redirect. That's called redirection. Redirecting the kids. I don't mind redirecting, but whenever I'm already asking you to do something and it's not working, like
you got to take a different approach.
We like to say one thing one time. Why do we got to keep repeating ourselves? And then it's really worse if we gentle parent because after the fourth time of trying to gentle parent, now we're irritated. So now you should have took the whooping the first time because it probably would have went smoother.
Yes. And I'm learning to answer your question. Like I'm learning to not let my day affect, how I parent or, stuff like that.
I remember that as a kid. Yeah, like, oh, mom had a bad day. Like, let's all get, let's get in the house. Let's tighten up,
I just think kids should be thinking a little more. If the things that we complain about, because I love how it turns on us. Like y'all know, only few things we're going to ask you to do is clean up your room, take out the basically just clean up your room. So why wouldn't y'all just go home and clean up the house? Why are y'all not thinking? Why is it put on us?
What
if like what the kids thinking?
lay down.
Yeah, because
lay down after you clean up.
I was always told, like, I just got off from work, like, you haven't been doing anything all day. I went to school, like, that's hard too, like.
And true enough, you did go to school, and that's great.
But that's dismissed. But I see that a lot of times. The school is dismissed. It's you've done nothing all day. You need to clean the house.
We acknowledge that, but you could have came home and got the house cleaned up because we got to go in and start cooking food, clean up all that stuff,
cook in a dirty kitchen,
and coordinate the house, and just be sure everything in the house is together.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it being a mother?
And remember, my answers are coming from a single mom standpoint, so I don't know. But for me, being a single mom, I think single mom gets better. Now, that's only if you're constantly pushing yourself. My kids push me to be a better person, to always grind and get my money. So if you take that mindset, I would say it gets better with all the time. It's always getting better.
Yeah, that's good.
See, I wasn't a single mother, but it was still hard because it's like if daddy don't, then mama have to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is.
Even with the boys, I had their dad home for a little bit. And honestly, I think I shouldn't have parent by myself the first time because I get sick of I was tired. I'm just being honest. Yeah. It's annoying to try to meet in the middle about, what we're going to do with the kids, especially when he wasn't always there for his old other kids. So for me, it's like, I've already done this. My kids already, you can see how they turned out. Like, let me make this call. And sometimes it's kind of hard to parent together. But after they were gone, I think it was a lot easier. Like it's what I make. I call all the shots, and honestly, it was easier that way.
Yeah, it's about nobody else's opinion.
Is co-parenting hard? Like,
that would be a question for her.
It is. It was hard. Oh, I mean, because each person got their own view of this and that. So, I mean, it's hard. It was hard.
I feel like I always wonder how I can get ahead of that. Like, how can I know like his parenting styles? I feel like you really can't. Like, you really don't know until you have a kid,
Mm-hmm.
start to see what they're like. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I try to ask questions in advance to see how he would parent, but I feel like you can't really get ahead of that
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's
I
just
think
like
it requ-
everything based on like your own experience, really. You
I think
don't really have the
like
answers.
communicate as much as you can with the dad, the person that you're gonna have children
Yes.
with. But also, I think life changes when you have children and you and your partner. That's gonna be yes, you probably be. But I just know from
Yes.
my experience from friends that changes your whole relationship.
Really? Is the love still the same, you'd say?
Was it?
Good question. Good question.
Like I said, I was young. So, and I was with Shariah and Harmony's dad since high school. So, I mean, that was all I knew, pretty much, whatever. But I felt like as we got older, like you said, it changes, and I mean, we fell apart. Like, I feel like whenever you have kids, you still have to date each other
Mm-hmm.
to make the relationship work.
Mm.
And I think if you have happy parents, it will bleed over onto the kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if y'all are feeling a lot of turbulence, it's probably because your mom was doing a whole lot of magic behind the scenes trying to make sure everything was where it needed to be.
That's right. So true.
Taking notes over here.
Right.
Mhm.
I want to talk about generational curses. Do you feel like y'all carried some with you, or do you feel like y'all broke any so far?
I know I carry some with me. That's for sure.
I would say I probably carry some too. But I think I've fixed some too. I think those are better questions for y'all to answer because y'all know what we've done. So y'all can probably give us a better answer on that end.
Yeah, I think you definitely. The first thing I think of is I know you're breaking some. I think that over you repeating them. So
I would say like the lifestyle that you gave to me and Harmony like is definitely different from how you grew up, and that could be a generational curse that you broke. Just looking back and see like how our family is and stuff like that.
Right. And I feel too like, looking back, like none of my family graduated college. Like I graduated college. So I mean I felt
Yeah.
I think I've even tried to work on like dating. Hopefully my mom doesn't get mad about this. But, like, dating. I'm still scared of her today. No, just joking. But no, just like dating. Like so, our family, we're strong women in our family, and I use that word lightly because I don't like the whole strong black woman thing. But we're strong women, so there's not a lot of men in our families. And so with my daughters, like with boyfriends, I take them in. I try to help nurture the relationship they have and build a relationship with them. I think that's the best way to handle that because otherwise they're going to grow up, have their own kids, and then they're going to resent me. Now I'm dividing my family. And I don't think that's a proper way to do that. I feel like, when I was younger, it's like, oh, I'm dating somebody. All the men in the house are looking at me like I'm loading up guns, this. That's so hideous. Like, why are we not embracing this man instead of intimidating them to split them up? And it's just, I think we need to take a different approach on that. I think we need to nurture that. Christmas, her boyfriend, Corby's boyfriend, they're all there. I treat everybody as family. My trips, their names are already on the list. I treat them as my bonus sons and I roll on.
I'm with that.
That makes, I mean, even on my end, it makes it so much easier. I mean,
it was hard for me to bring a boyfriend into the circle, but also, I don't look at it as a negative standpoint. I look at it, your mom loves you so much. They just don't want you to be hurt. And they know what love can hurt. Sometimes that's a gamble. Right. And so I look at it from that standpoint, but also just communicating. Like sometimes Chloe will be like, Mom, we need to sit and talk. And I'm like, okay, we have to have a woo-saw moment. But that's also me just trying to work on myself. Like, she want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Because there's always an answer. We just don't feel like we have to say it because we weren't raised that way.
Right.
I do like that you guys like have those conversations and like you told me like kind of the way you were raised, so I can appreciate the curse that you're breaking in a way. Like you could take it for granted very easily as a being a daughter if you don't know kind of why your mom is doing that. Because I mean, I didn't know until you told me, and I appreciate how welcoming you were to my boyfriend and things like that.
And it's good, like, it just shows the growth for real, because it's like, just because your mom did that or your dad did that, that don't mean you have to do it, or you don't have to follow it. So growth.
Do you think that you can overcompensate sometimes if you're really like hyper fixated on like changing a certain thing for your kid that you're just like so like focused on that you're forgetting other things, or
I can be that way sometimes.
Like, what do you mean?
like if you are so focused on not doing a certain, so like your mom did something to you, don't like it, so you're so focused on giving your kids this lifestyle that's different from how your mom brought you up, that you're forgetting, like you're just overcompensating, you're overdoing it.
I think I overcompensate because my life when it was just Corby and Chloe and I was younger and I did not have as much money as I do now. And so now the boys get anything, they acknowledge that. But also, I'm so overdone. Like, I'm over it. You get a car, you get a car. Boyfriends, whatever they want, they get it. Whatever my daughters want, they get it. It's just like, and it could be considered overcompensating, but also I feel like, I kind of grew up with them. So I always say I feel like I birthed my best friends. So I always, if I'm winning, they're winning. And I feel like as long as they see that we're always winning, then, me and Corby and Chloe were like, we struggled together and now we're in a better position. I like for them to win too.
That kind of goes to like with the question I was going to ask, like, what's something for sure you wanted to make sure you did for your child growing up, like making sure they didn't live a certain lifestyle you did, like say you didn't go to college, it's like, I want my kid to go to college, so I'm gonna be so focused on making sure my kid go to college. Like, is there anything y'all just thought about as a mother, like, I want my kid to do this because I didn't have the opportunity to?
I thought about it, but then at the same time, like, I don't want to force my kid to do, I don't want to force y'all to do anything that y'all didn't want to do. But I'm gonna put it in your head.
Yeah.
But whether you do it or not, then that's your decision. You're grown.
Yeah.
I go with the same thing. I think, no, I mean, as far as like things I wanted them to do, no, I always feel like I'm going to be your biggest supporter. Like, whatever it is that you want to do, I want to support that venture or whatever it is. The biggest thing that I always wanted to instill in my kids is to have a spiritual life. I feel like if above all the work, all the hard work I can do, as long as you know how to pray, then it'll get you from anything better than I can ever offer a buy.
Let me flip that on you. Do you feel like there's anything that you feel like you want to give your children?
Not you flipped it on me. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have to come back around.
Chloe, what about you?
Okay, wait. Remind me the question real quick.
Like, what's something you for sure wanted to make sure you did for your child or your child does growing up that you possibly didn't have the opportunity to, or things like that?
Now I see why. Okay, let me see. I think, and I will say, like you.
She's already getting it because she's already cleaning this up.
I can say, like, if my kids like want friends over, I'm gonna let them come over. Like, I won't give them like no, they can't come over. Like, I'll just let them come over
Anytime.
most of the time. Like, I won't make it a big deal.
I was like that. I think I was. I let their friends stay the night. I'd rather you guys be at my house than be over anywhere else.
I would say just like communication, like from a young age, just making sure that they feel heard. Any little tiny thing. I mean, it could be anything.
I think that's a good thing to say, but also I think sometimes y'all will say that now at this age, but when y'all are younger, you're not going to understand some of the stuff that we're going through or what we're doing. There's stuff that I would not say to Chance and Channing now because they're just not fixing to You know, they're not going to understand what I'm going through. And you don't want to overshare and tell a kid
Right.
something, because that's how come kids will go off at 12 and 13 and start hustling and doing this and
Right.
this, because they're trying to help, because they're trying to take on our problems. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's better left unsaid than it is to be speaking on it. But most definitely, I feel like at this age, yes, we can talk about whatever. But I think there comes an age when you want to share certain things with kids. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not a thing.
Right. So, for instance, like, I feel like I can share some stuff with Shariah that I definitely can't share with my 14-year.
Right.
So yeah, I
Right.
get that.
Time and a place.
Absolutely. And I think that that's something that needs to be instilled when they're young.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, a lot of times when y'all say, there's so much stuff been said now to these kids. That's why these kids are terrible now.
Yes.
That's why I would not teach at this
Oh.
point now. These kids are out of control.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I think
Everybody
it's social
thinks-
media. Like you feel? Do y'all feel like social media really impacts your kids? Like no matter how you raise them, like
I
social
think-
media is just there.
Absolutely. But also I think it's the parents, because
Mhm.
you have a lot of traumatized kids that teachers, we expose the parents. Like, we're not talking, but what about these teachers that are teaching these kids? They're with y'all more than we are.
Mhm.
So y'all are getting a lot of this stuff from the school. It's just like,
Exactly.
it's not
That can be
enough.
scary.
Other
Like just sending your
kids,
kids
you know,
to school, you
yeah.
don't know what's
Exactly.
going on.
Mhm.
You
And
have,
then-
think about the teacher that's teaching these kids.
Right.
They have issues, you know.
That's true. I agree with
Um,
that.
That stuff
Definitely.
pours onto your kids. You're in the school for a whole school year, and you're picking up some of their etiquettes and who they are. I mean, I feel like we need to be interviewing the teachers anymore, to
Right.
be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know,
Yep. And then social media too. It's like, you know, just reading and listening to the news and stuff, like bullying over social, like that is crazy.
and then you have like kids that have been bullied, and now they work in the school, and now they're
Yeah.
turning into like the worst
Mhm.
teachers that you have at the school.
The world is scary.
It really
Okay.
is.
Very.
I always say, oh, you know, I want to homeschool my kid, and I want to do this, but then all the energy and how much would go into that, I know that's really hard too.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, it's good for the kid, you know, for your kids to go to, like, let's say public schools, just so that they, you know, so they
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
so, you know, just for instance, like if they was homeschooled and they went somewhere, oh, I heard a cuss word, you know, and so they're acting completely different because they never heard a cuss word before. You know, I feel like kids should go to public schools just to get that.
Experience.
Yeah,
life.
just to get that
I agree.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have to teach my kids, like, you're not allowed to cuss, but
Mhm.
if you hear someone cussing, you don't do it.
Right.
Yeah. You can hear cussing, but you just don't do it.
Right.
I like that. Not sheltering them,
Mhm.
because they're gonna hear it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
There's always that one bad kid at the schools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I say public schools, but it happens at private schools too.
It does. You pick up other
Yes.
things at
Oh
practice.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. Okay, I want to get into some hot topics today. The first one was red polish, like being too grown. Like, did you grow up on that?
Yes.
And also
Yes.
makeup, like being considered grown. Like we're just girls, you know.
See,
Like why is it considered grown? Like
and I was told that my grandfather was a pastor, so it was no to everything. And just listening to that, and then, you know, my mama telling me too, like, you know, you can't wear red polish or, you know, lipstick or anything like that. So that was just instilled in my mind.
I just feel like that's so crazy.
I think also my dad taught me that. And I feel like if a man's telling you that this is not appropriate, because men know what is attractive to another man, and
Right.
you have a lot of creeps out here.
That's
So if he's telling you that, he's just telling you that for your own good. I have a guy friend that tells me the same thing. His daughter's not allowed to wear red nail polish, and he's like, if you don't want a grown man looking at you, you don't need to be doing this.
Mhm.
So I kind of agree with that, and also that came from my mom my mom as well.
That's understandable. But then it's like we can't be girls and play in makeup just because of creepy grown men.
I think it's a time and place. Like, you can do that at home,
home,
but you're
yes.
not going to do that and wear that red lipstick into
Yes.
the store and all that. Like, you're doing too much. Like, no.
I feel like you always let me like do makeup. Like if my
I
eyebrows
did.
weren't like, you fix my eyebrows every single morning for like, you would always, you know, like let me do the makeup thing. Now the nail polish, I still to this day have never had red nail polish
Me
ever.
neither.
Like that was why she
Never got
she-
red.
that was like, that's too grown. I'm not I've never had to. Yeah.
Well, like I would not like face makeup, but like eyebrows. Like we have thinner eyebrows, so we always she was insecure about it. So I was like, yeah, you can put on some pencil or whatever.
Yeah, you didn't put like eyeshadow on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a little fix me up.
Our topic was superstitions in the Black community. Like,
I had it bad.
what are some you believe in, and where did they come from?
So now I really don't believe in superstition
What
because
changed?
you say what?
Like, what changed? Like, you just like, you know what?
Me
That was
more
BS.
so in the Bible
Mhm.
than yeah. And the superstition, like I would always hear my aunties and my uncles and my mama, oh, you know, if a black cat cross the street, you gotta turn around or don't split the pole. Yeah,
You still
my
do that
biggest
one.
I still do that one. I still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still do the purse. Like I don't like my purse on the floor.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing it today.
You are.
But normally I don't
That's
do my
true.
purse on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
about
do
my
that.
money.
Yes, me neither. At all.
I don't know if I don't believe in them, but like this is just what I see growing up. Like sleeping your feet,
Oh yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
splitting a pole. If your hand itch, you get money. Is that a superstition?
Your hands itching?
Yeah. Would that be considered superstition?
I don't know.
My
I mean,
boyfriend did that. He said his hand was itching before, and he went to the casino and won a lot of money. So
I can get money in a couple of days.
It may, well, is it payday? Because I know sometimes mine is so payday. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just and I know extra.
The black eyed peas on New Year's.
Well,
Like,
I do that.
yeah,
I do that.
I mean, I think it's just out of habit. It's like now
And
it's like
a culture thing.
yeah, I was gonna say that. I don't think
Yeah.
now that we're older, we don't believe in it, but we just do it
Yeah.
because it's tradition. We
Right.
don't break tradition.
yeah.
And I feel like it's not just superstitions too. Like a lot of things, I feel like us, the Black community, that we do that other people are like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you've always told me, like at cookouts and stuff, you know, don't just eat everybody's food.
That's right.
And when I tell people that, like people I work with,
Oh, yeah.
because you know they like,
Yes.
like why aren't you eating? I'm like, girl, my mom
Right.
Yes.
I don't know what y'all's house
That
is
be
like.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Don't get a bump on your lip, or don't play that part
Yeah.
from that party you were at.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
But I like that though. I feel like my kids will have like superstitions a little bit, like just stuff like that.
And we don't want to eat the lady at the building that has a cat at home that
Oh,
crawled
no.
on the
At
counters.
all. At all. We went to
Yeah.
a Christmas party last year, and my friend came with me. I was telling her, like, you can eat this, and that, but don't eat that.
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me too.
What's your black girl superpower? Like, what do you feel like? When do you feel like you're just powerful, just as a black woman? It could be motherhood. That could be a superpower.
I would say motherhood, but I also would say confidence.
I like that.
You are confident. I don't
Very,
think I ever seen you just like not
very,
confident.
yes.
I was gonna say, yeah, I agree with that. I think parenting is definitely one of my strongest areas. Also, I would say, like she said, confidence. I feel like if I wake up in the morning and I feel good about myself, then I most definitely am gonna have a great day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also think just multitasking. I think I'm good. Now she might say I may not be, but I am. If you look at the things that I accomplish in a week, yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm really good.
I was gonna ask all of us, what's something you guys feel like your mom ingrained in you, instilled in you, that it's like you take with you, you remember it,
I would
be it
say
advice, something that stuck with you.
I would say just making sure that my priorities are straight. I'll say that.
Your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
I'll say it's self-respect. My mom was always raised with the spiritual life, a strong spiritual foundation, but also just what you put out there, you can't take back. And I'll say that lightly because you can always rebuild who you are, but and not be so hard on yourself. But also, I'll just say, your reputation is very important.
That's true.
I would have to say, let's see, making money, pretty much. Like, I know some people are, housewives and stuff like that, but just
Make sure you have your own.
that's it. Make sure you have your own.
That's true. There's a lot of wives at home
Mm-hmm.
that are not happy, but because they don't have a
Right,
job or no
do
source of
anything,
income,
right?
yeah.
That's right.
I like that. I would say hustle. You taught me how to hustle. I know how to, do what I need to do to make my money, but also just how to carry myself out in the world. I feel like that's something that definitely was instilled in me. So
Shout out to y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you guys. I mean, y'all are a reflection of us, so
that's
that's
right.
Y'all did something right.
yeah, exactly.
We did a lot of things right.
You got anything else? I'm just going down like
no,
y'all feel like y'all had role models growing up? Like womanly figures?
Oh yes, my mom and my aunts definitely.
Also,
Even
mom,
my uncles, honestly. Yeah.
yeah. And I was even gonna say like, even like, I love Oprah. I know she has a lot of had like weird stuff saying about her, but I do. I always loved Oprah. I love my mom. She was amazing. But whenever we look at home, my mom was a great copy. Like I copy a lot of her stuff, but also I just like certain celebrities that I look at their lives and I say, we only get what they want to give us, but then there's certain like sayings and quotes that
Yeah.
I just always love.
Would you? I mean, so when you say role models, and I know you, like I said, my aunties and my uncles. What about like your childhood best friends?
Mm.
Could they be your role models as well? Because I
Yeah.
have a few friends who I look up to,
Yeah.
cousins as well.
Yeah. It's actually like whoever you feel like they do things a certain way that you would want to do
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
reflect.
Or even inspire you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Inspiring.
definitely.
That's good. That's why I feel like people like I feel like God really places certain people in your life for a reason because like nothing's a coincidence for like everything happens for a reason. The people that's in your life is for a reason.
That's right.
So
I agree with that. And I always say like you can like God gave us like our families, so those people were made and put in your life for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that you add in, you can second guess because
Mm-hmm.
that's why I don't mess with the family part. Like those people are solid, they have to be there. But the outsiders,
yeah,
some are the solid ones and then you have, everybody's not meant to be your friends.
Mm-hmm.
it's true. But all blood ain't. I mean, what's the saying? Sometimes blood ain't thicker than water.
Oh gosh. Now there are the ones that we need to keep far
You just
away.
gotta look over there.
But yeah, for sure. For
That's like
sure.
love. What's that saying? Love them from a distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
There you go.
okay. Well, I'm really happy we got to have this conversation.
Me too.
I feel like mothers, like, really, like, they run the world and their roles are, like, just so important. So I'm happy we got to have this conversation as mothers and daughters and just, hopefully other mothers and daughters can just listen to this conversation and enjoy it, relax, bond.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure we both are honored to be here for y'all's first recording. Like, thanks for having us.
Because I know when they first started the podcast, like I was asking, like, when am I going to be a guest?
Aww.
And I'm here.
Yeah. I'm glad y'all came on. Like, this is really a blessing to like have y'all on here, and just for y'all to be available to be here because a lot of people don't have that opportunity.
Mhm.
So
just to feel supported. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's an amazing feeling.
absolutely.
Love you. Love you too.
Love you too.
Sure.
Well, if you guys made it this far, thank you for listening.
And make sure to tune in every Wednesday for a new session.